Hey y'all, Devin Radshaw here with JcrOffroad. In today's video, I'm going to show you how we install our interior cargo basket in the back of this Cherokee. Alright, so you can see here we got all the parts out that you're going to get in your box. You got your two main halves of the basket, got a couple little tie-in brackets for it. And here you got your side mount plates, brackets, whatever you want to call these. You can just set these aside for a minute while we get this assembled. All right, now to get started putting these together, you can see you're making a basket, so you can see which way they need to go. In the bottom here, you got a little flange sticks down. There's 3 bolt holes in that. Conveniently, there's 3 bolt holes in the other side. So for those, this whole bolt pack you're gonna get, that's all 1/4 20 button head bolts. They're all the same. There's washers, there's nuts. Make sure you put a washer on here. You ain't no hillbilly. Now take these, those 3 little holes we talked about in these bottom flanges before. You can push these tight together. Go ahead and start putting some bolts in there. As you do this, put a nut on the back side. Go ahead and leave these just a little bit loose till you get all 3 of those in. And that way, you don't gotta fight anything. It's not tight, it's not misaligning your holes, it ain't fighting you. Now that you got the 2 halves loosely bolted together, went ahead and left those loose for now as well. You're gonna take those little rectangular side plates I told you about earlier. You're gonna take these, just put them right on the outside. There's 4 holes in this. There's 4 holes here that they're gonna line up with. And then using those same 1/4 20 button heads, putting the bolt from the inside out, you can loosely start installing those 4 bolts. And once you got all 4 of the bolts started in there, nuts on the back side, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side while everything's loose. All right, so once you got all those bolts loosely installed, grab yourself a 5 30-second Allen, tighten everything up. Okay, so now that you got everything tightened up here, go ahead and take this little black edge trim we supply in our bolt pack. Get yourself some cutters. What you're gonna want to do, on all 4 of these corners, you're just gonna be looking to fill this corner space with a piece of this trim. Now, what I'm gonna do here, just kind of hold it up, kind of go from this point down to about the bottom, and I'm gonna mark it with my thumb. You can get crafty with a tape measure if you want to, but I don't think that's necessary. Drop that one, but what I'm gonna do, just using this as a guide now, cut myself 4 of those. After that, you go to each one of these corners. You may have to use a screwdriver or something to get down in here. You should be able to pull it apart with your fingernails. You just kind of want to spread this out a little bit. Just put it down in here on this edge. Once I got it started, I got it down in there about as far as I'm going to be able to get it. You can just work that edge, walk it right up the side like so. After you got that, go ahead and do the same thing on your other 3 corners. All right, so once you got all that done, you're ready to install this basket into your truck. Truck, can we call it a truck? Doesn't have a frame. In your van, whatever. However, that thing ain't ready. So let's jump in there, get those mounting brackets installed. All right, now here on the inside, you're gonna have your mounting brackets, 1 for each side. They're the same, don't matter, don't gotta differentiate. Now, it's gonna have this flange bent down. Like I said, down, that faces down. And it's gonna have 3 slots in it. That's gonna go toward the outside of the vehicle. So in our case here, we're gonna be installing ours in this bottom row of holes in your outside molly panel. And we're gonna be putting our rearmost hole on the bracket in line with the 4th hole forward here. So to do that, I'm just gonna start by getting the nut in place there. I'll take my panel, loosely install a bolt like so, and just pick the thing on up there, line those 2 up. All right, so now that you got this rear bolt loosely installed, it's gonna be easy to see which 2 bolt holes these other slots line up with. Then you just do the same thing here. Slide a nut in from the back side, and then loosely install your bolt. All right, so with these 3 in place, we can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Just note that we're gonna leave those loose, a little bit loose for now, just kind of finger tight till we get everything assembled. All right, so now that you got your basket assembled, you got your brackets loosely installed. Next step, just go ahead and take this thing, line it up, and set it in there right on top of these mounting brackets. Now, once you got it in there, about where you want it, you'll go ahead, you got 4 slots in here as well. You can line those up, drop your 1/4 inch bolts down through, put the nuts on the bottom side. All right, so I got the 4 installed over here. Gonna move over to the other side, do the same thing. Okay, so now we got all our hardware loosely installed, all of it started. Got a few extra bolts left over. Just throw those to the side, they're not needed here. Now, before I go and tighten everything up, I just want to make sure everything's aligned appropriately where we want it. So in our case, I'm going to slide my mounting bracket all the way back, then I'll tighten that up. Do the same thing over here on the other side. Now the next thing I need to do is position this basket on the mounting bracket. So you can see it kind of slides forward and rear. In our case again, I'm gonna try and keep this back as far as possible. So I'm gonna slide it all the way back, tighten everything up. And then after that, I'm just gonna check when I close this door that it's not gonna hit anything here on the sides, or definitely not gonna hit my back glass. Just like that. All right, so just a couple things to note here. You don't have to follow along to the T, put this exactly in the same spot we did. We designed this to be a little bit more versatile, you know, functional, kind of like a fanny pack for your XJ, if you want to think of it that way. So you can move this up a little bit, you can move it forward. I don't think you can come any farther backward because you might run into that glass. But just keep that in mind when you're installing this if you need a little more room down here or something. All right, y'all, so that pretty much completes this install. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call, 269-353-1184, or shoot us an email, info@jcroffroad.com.